It is 3 a.m. early Saturday, March 7th, 2026. Let's do this, if only for my benefit, never mind anyone else's. So, I think the biggest tell was the VIX today. Typically, the VIX would get ground down into the weekend, and instead of that, powered upwards into the close, printing a new multi-month high of 29.93, settling up 24.2% to 29.49. Again, I won't get finicky about exact numbers, but that's a powerful candle. And yeah, 70, we're overbought. VIX doesn't stay overbought for very long, so I think we have one big up day on early Monday. We could easily gap on Monday to 40 to 45. Momentum we can see here accelerating upwards. So we're almost, I have to believe we're going to jump on Monday morning, maybe 40, 45. Maybe that's because oil is maybe 100, 110, who knows, 120 even. But VIX is telling me, VIX is telling me the S&P is going to drop quite a bit at the Monday open. And the VIX will probably jump quite a bit at the Monday open. Let's go to the S&P itself, which was down 90 points, 1.3%. So look, this was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the fifth day low of 7. So people thinking, well, that's a low. You know, maybe we're going to go up now again. I mean, I saw some people even talking about 7K. That's lunacy. It's crazy talk. There's a war happening. We're going down. RSI, we're not oversold yet at all. We can easily, and my guess is on Monday, we're going to either gap straight into somewhere within purple gap, or maybe even test for 200 day. And the most bearish case, of course, would be we gap just under the 200 day, which would cause all sorts of problems. And yeah, we have an upside gap here. So even if we get down to say here on Monday, we'll have the opening gap on Monday, plus we have this gap. So I would be open to the notion that we're printing, say, mid 6600s, and then still get up to this gap around 67, 69. I think was the high, was the opening gap. Yeah, doesn't have to happen that way. We could just maybe drop down and fall, but you know, we could go tick down for another. And look, Monday will be down around here, right? Which will be the lowest level since late November, which is kind of appropriate because that's where we were then. So, bearish for Monday, bullish VIX. What next? I'll cover this at the weekend in my well, somewhere else. But look, monthly momentum. It's about to turn negative. The last time that happened was April, last April, which saw, of course, March broke down, and we had an ugly start to the month, floored at the previous high. So now we're on the edge of breaking. Basic target would be 6100s. Below that, trend around 5500 in April, which is a long way down. That's a big, on the short side. If I was to know that that was going to happen for sure, my God, I would load up on SPY puts all the way. But I don't know. Maybe we're going to get down to 6100. But there's a war going on, so maybe 5500. What would be really scary is if we break that trend line. We go, maybe take out. Actually, yeah. Look at the 50 MA on the monthly, 51, 53, and that's going up. So we held it in April. We held it in that low there, and we did not settle under it, right? And even there, right? Look at this. Even in 2020 and late 2018, this MA, this 50 MA is really important. We're still we're still long-term bullish as long as we don't settle under it. So right now, to be decisive, no monthly closes under 5,000, which of course is a long way down. So, I accept it's kind of academic right now, but yeah, long-term bullish as long as we stay above that little green line. Moving on. I'm going to jump back to the VIX momentarily. So for the week, the VIX was up 48.5%. Look at the spike from the 20 threshold. That's very bullish for next week. Momentum has accelerated up. So it's a good thing next week's candle is going to at least start around here. In which case, what are we looking at? 40, 45, somewhere around here. And then maybe cool back to at least 30, maybe 20. But that's a bullish candle. That's telling you that's telling you something kind of interesting is going to happen on Monday. More broadly, um, momentum in the VIX turned positive end of February, increasingly positive. You got to think there's a war going on. Why can't we print 60s, 70s? Why not? Anyway, do I want to go through any individual stocks? I guess I will. Excuse me. Apple down 1%. Not very exciting. Hang on, let's just drag this down. We're gonna fly through these. There's a reversal candle, but hey, the miners are gonna be dragged down by the main market. American Eagle down another 4.5. 18s. Can't expect the 200-day to hold. 12s. That looks pretty easy. First Majestic down another 2, almost 1.7%. AMD, look at this. Yeah, look at this. Down 3.5%. 192. Monday is almost certainly going to take out the 200-day. Next stop, 164 gap, and then 150, this threshold here. I guess 150, 149, right? But yeah, 200 days not going to hold. Same for NVDA. Amazon mostly filled the gap, rolling back over. Barrick Mining, positive day, but fractional, it's broken. Boeing was at 4% on hopes of a order from China. Again, good bounce from a 200-day, right? But then it's like, hey, can we break above this? Probably not. Bank of America down almost 2%. See this? This was it's not labeled, but that's a baby bear flag. Bearish to the 41s. Caterpillar, look at this. This is important. I'm literally just noticing this myself. Down 3.6%. The 50-day is not going to hold, is it? Target 200-day 514. It's a long way down. Kamiko, 50-day gone. Carnival, it's not going to hold the 24s, is it? There's a gap that goes all the way down to around 20. That's 20% down. Cleveland Cliffs. I said it for a little while now. Multi-week structure. It's a bear flag. It's playing out. I mean, look at it. It's already in the nines. Terrible. Deckers. Looks like red gap's going to be filled. Disney. Yellow gap's going to be filled to 91. The 200 days not going to hold. Target is around, I guess you can call Saitan 970 or so. Freeport below the 50-day. Bearish. Google target 252 and then orange gap. Home Depot bearish. Heckler bearish. Intel down 5%. Joby struggling with the main market. JP Morgan, technically today's candle was a hollow red reversal, which leans bullish for Monday, but I'm kind of dismissive of it. I will say that one worked out, but that was above the 200-day. We're now sustainably below. So this was the second close under the 200-day. That's bearish. I am short from today, JP Morgan. Target is 250, but if I can get say 280, 275 on Monday, I'll take that and close out. But yeah, bearish JP Morgan. KKR down 4.5%. I am short KKR from today. You see little bounce, full reversal, 91. My target is 61. And yeah, you can argue with a marginal double floor of 84, 85. I don't believe it. I think it's going to get taken out. I think we're going down to around 60 bucks. All sorts of problems in private equity land. If we just have a quick look at Blackstone down 4.5%. Not pretty. Then there's BlackRock. Lots of issues and concerns there. Look at this. This is horrible. This is like a dive bombing stock now, down 7.2%. Yeah, it's oversold, but this is a massive break. Look, we've taken out the November 980s. I would note the April 758s. That's a good target there. Blue Owl Capital, OWL, 5% down. I mean, it's got to take out that. Where's it going? $7. So yeah, as a way to short private equity, I'm short KKR. So it's 91. I'm going to hope on Monday at least comes down to say 85, 84. I would be a seller there because that's a good $7 down or so. That would be a nice exit early Monday. Big volume. Very big volume. You can argue we're close to a low like that, but if I'm right about the S&P going to at least 6,100, KKR's got to go way down to at least 70, if not 60. Moving on. Meta Platforms got to fill red gap, right? Microsoft getting tired. It can't. The problem is it's going to really struggle to get here because the main market looks like it's going to get whacked on Monday. Actually, we'll go back to Micron. Micron actually, look, yeah, we've settled below the 50-day, which we didn't do there or there until last August. It's breaking. Netflix is stalling. Nike legacy red gap filled. Next support is 51. NVDA down 3% to 177. 200 days 176. So anything under 176 on Monday will give confidence that we're going to go down to 150. I expect it. I wouldn't be surprised to see Nvidia down. We could see Nvidia down 5% early Monday. 5% would be what, $9. So I think we could be 168. Yeah, 168 on Monday. That would take out these two lows and the 200-day. That next support, yeah, look at the next support, 164, 164. But yeah, more broadly, 150. It's not going to hold. It's going down. On this failed gains, the cautious will be out. Occidental, black candle, but that's because gains were restrained or eroded by the main market. Pan American silver cooling, Palantir bouncing, but look, today's candle is spiky from the 200-day and the 50-day. Midterm bearish to 100. Almost tempted to short this one. If I was going to short it, I'd probably want May puts. But those will be pretty expensive now that the VIX is around 30. That's a problem. Red cat. Wow. Huh. Not sure what this print is, but that's a hell of a wild day there. Got to be bullish drones in the long term, right? Rocket Lab up fractionally, but looks like it's going to come down at least to 54. Target, bit of defensive money coming in. Tesla down 2%, 396. Again, I can't expect the 200-day to hold, in which case we're probably looking at 350 or so. United Airlines down 3.5%, 92.07. I'm asking myself the question, I think I should be short this one. So, of course, Monday, if the main market gets slammed, we could be looking at least, well, at least 88, perhaps 82. So maybe we get a bounce from 82 back to around 88 to 90. And my target would be at least 70, maybe 52. That would assume that oil is at least 100 and probably 150, which I would accept as crazy talk. Don't care about that. Chop. UPS down to 1.6. It's a reversal candle, but I'm somewhat dismissive of it. Bearish to the 200-day 94s. And Exxon up 0.3, but again, gains were eroded by the fact that the main market was down. Okay, do we want to cover oil and gold today? I guess I'll just briefly cover it. Actually, we'll look at Bitcoin quickly. Bitcoin's fractional bounce, but hey, who cares? Um, Actually, we'll forget about commodity gold. You look at GLD. I kind of like these charts better. 1.6%. Structure still a bullish pattern. SLV on a daily too. I mean, 2.2%, but you need to see it above that high there to 85 to get confident. I don't think that's got to happen. I mean, look, for the week, I really shouldn't be covering this now because I'll be covering it tomorrow. But look, for the week, down 10%. This isn't bullish at all, is it? This is terrible. And look, momentum is probably going to turn negative as of Monday. Bearish. Finally, let's go with oil. Incredible gains. This would make it for a video in itself. Look at this. For the day, up $10.26, 12.7% to 91.27. Just this was 64 last week. Incredible run. Weekly chart. Net gain 24.25%. I mean, just look at this. 54. Boom. We did get initial resistance around there on Monday. But yeah, look, this is freaky now. This is scary stuff. And more broadly, look at this. I was speaking about this the other day. If this candle, look, this is a bullish engulfing candle here. Bullish in February, and we're breaking up and away. We're clearly going to go above 100. We could easily see 100. Probably going to see 100 as of Monday morning, right? That's another 10% on Monday morning, and I would accept there will be resistance around 100. But after 100, 126. Let's go out even broader. The all-time high, 147 from July 2008. And if you read around, I've been highlighting a few people now. There are a lot of people now talking about oil going to 200 to 250 within a month or so. And you think, well, 200 to 250 is crazy talk, right? Well, look, I mean, look, we've been coming down now for 4 years. The 4-year decline is over. We floored at 54. We're now accelerating. Momentum only turned positive as of last Thursday, we're going up for months, probably. So this is the first, again, we haven't settled the month. So who knows if, for all I know, the monthly candle could settle around 125 or so. I don't know. But if it, again, if you actually, if you see 125 or so this month, then we're probably going to see 200 plus no later than early April. And again, it should be quite clear the economic implications of that would be profound. It would be like just a disastrous shockwave for the global economy. And also, there's the issue about, well, it's not just oil prices; it's about supply. Is there literally enough supply? I'm not going to go into all the intricacies of that. Other people have done it better than I could. But yeah, the higher this candle goes across March will tell us whether we're going to see 200, 250 in April. I think there's a pretty high probability of that now. This candle, and again, people will say, "Oh, it's a one-off. It's going to get stuck around 100, and we'll come back down, and everything will be fine. Don't worry about the war. It's still gonna be fine." No, I see this as a provisional alarm bell, a really frightening candle. So yeah, Monday we could easily print 100, maybe even 110, or even 120. Again, keep in mind that high there, 126 from March of 22. Oh my goodness, I don't know what else to say. I could drone on for hours if I really wanted to, but yeah, interesting day, and the VIX was the tell. In theory, we really should the equities should open very strongly down on Monday. VIX should jump to 40, 45, maybe even 50. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I've got a couple of financial shorts, which look pretty good. They should be down on Monday. And it's like, okay, what then? I'm like, okay, I want to short an airline. I definitely want to get back on the oil train. But it's like, hey, what if it's 120 on Monday? It's like, where could it, could we retrace all the way back down to 100 or 90? I don't know. But I do want to get on the train, the oil train, because in theory, this thing's gonna, I think we're gonna print a new historic high in oil as a result of the war, which clearly most people are starting to wake up to the notion that this war, and it is a war, is going to stretch for a lot longer than most people dare to think right now. It's scary times, and the oil chart is it's a little scary. It is scary. We're going up, aren't we? You got to wonder how cheap 54 will look in a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two, and how cheap 126 will be, and how cheap 147 will look. Yep, it's scary stuff. It really is. I mean, there's tradable opportunities within this, right? Not least in terms of short equities, long VIX, short the financials, long oil. I still see gold and silver as a mess. I'm leaving them alone for a while. Anyway, there's a few random thoughts to reflect upon. We have the whole week. We have the whole weekend to think about things. But yeah, we really should see Monday start pretty ugly. Um, yeah, and oil should jump probably to around 100. All right. Anyway, on that note, I will do some videos this weekend, proper ones. Uh, and yeah, have a good weekend. And try not to watch too much of the mainstream news. They're just filled with propaganda and lies. Good night.